Buying a home is an exciting journey, but sometimes can feel overwhelming, especially if you're buying a home in a new state. I have helped tons of people buy a house here in Pennsylvania, and these are some of the things that I see as the most common mistakes that home buyers make. One of the most common mistakes that I see people make when buying a home here in Pennsylvania is getting too caught up on the age of the home. The East Coast is nearly 100 years older than the West Coast, and of course has many homes that are 50 to 100 plus years old. Although age shouldn't immediately be a huge drawback, because the saying "they don't build them like they used to" certainly holds true here. Many older homes were constructed with stone and brick, which are known for their durability and ability to keep homes warm in the winter and cool in the summer, which is perfect for the 4 seasons that we experience here in PA. While it's of course common for some home buyers to gravitate towards the more modern layout, new construction homes, or those that are built in the last 10 to 20 years, I always encourage my clients to keep an open mind when it comes to the age of the house, because a home that is older doesn't mean that it's in poor condition. Older homes have timeless craftsmanship and structural integrity that can outlast many of the new construction modern builds that you'll see here. The next mistake that I see very often is buyers not testing for radon, mostly just due to the lack of knowledge around radon. Radon gas is present in every state, but some states much more than others. Radon is a colorless, odorless, and tasteless gas produced by the natural breakdown of soil, rock, and water beneath the ground. What makes radon so unpredictable is that it can be present in one home but not in the next door neighbors. It really depends on the ground and the soil beneath each specific home. If radon goes untreated, the issue with it is if somebody were to live in a home 10, 20, 30 plus years and every day or weekly constantly is inhaling radon gas for the most part in their basement, over the long term it could be an issue leading to cancer and other diseases as well. While radon might sound pretty concerning, the good news is that it is very easy and simple to address. I always recommend my clients to have a radon test completed when they're buying a home, and that's even if the home already has a radon system installed, because you don't know who installed it, how old it is, etc. The inspector that will perform the radon test is essentially monitoring the air in a home over a 2-day period with a monitor that they will typically leave in the basement. If the test results show above the radon level EPA's limit of 4, installing a radon mitigation system is definitely recommended. A radon mitigation system works essentially like a large fan to draw the radon gas from beneath the house and vent it safely above, outside, on the roof line. These radon systems are relatively easy and very quickly to have installed. Of course, depending on the size of the house and how high the radon level is, these systems typically range around $800 to $1,600. Another very common mistake that I see is home buyers completely dismissing any homes that have private utilities, such as private sewer and private water. The possibility of buying a home that has these private utilities really depends on the location that you buy in Pennsylvania. In most areas, private water and sewer are uncommon unless you're looking at homes with significant acreage. These properties are typically located in areas with quiet back roads, very small towns, and not really much accessibility to those public water and sewer lines. I completely understand why some buyers are hesitant when it comes to private systems. If they fail, repairs can be costly and of course stressful. That's why I always recommend to have an inspector to do a very thorough inspection if you're considering a home with a septic or well system. If you're not really interested in buying a home in an area that's pretty remote or a home that has tons of land, this is likely not really an issue. Most of the residential homes and neighborhoods that are located here in PA are for the most part hooked up to those public sewer and public water systems. The next major mistake that home buyers make is not choosing a local, trusted, full-time real estate agent to help you with the overall ins and outs of going through the process of buying a home here. I have heard plenty of horror stories of buyers clicking the contact an agent button on websites like Zillow, Realtor.com, etc., which just connects you to a random agent. You don't know how long they've been doing it, how successful they are, how many clients they help, and truly just taking a huge gamble by hitting those contact an agent buttons. Not choosing an agent who knows the ins and outs of helping you relocate and buy a home here could cost you thousands of dollars and such a huge headache that I truly encourage you to reach out to someone who can really help you make the process as easy as possible and buy your perfect home here in Pennsylvania. Piggybacking off of that one, another major mistake when buying a home here in Pennsylvania is that when people think that they're going to buy a new construction home, and that means that they don't need their own agent representation. Even if those national large new construction builders have their in-house sales team, think about it. They are in-house. They work for the builder. They don't care if you're getting the best deal, the best incentives. They're going to do whatever they can to make the builder the most money possible. If you're planning to visit PA and want to check out a couple of new construction options, please make sure to reach out to a trusted agent so you can actually have someone there to help you protect your best interest and of course get the best deal possible. The way that builders work is if you contact them, register online, call and register, or go into any of these new construction communities without an agent the first time, they are considering you as unrepresented for as long as possible if you end up buying in that new construction community ever. So please make sure, for your best interest, to make sure that you're getting the best deal, reach out to a realtor before you contact or enter any of those new construction communities. One of the most common factors that people consider when making a move to the area is school districts. And along with that is one of the major mistakes that people make is not doing enough research on which school district is covered by each specific area. Let me explain. In Pennsylvania, the public school that your kids attend is determined solely by the location of the home that you buy. I have heard in some states that you can pay or request a transfer to a different public school, and it just does not work like that here in PA. So if school districts are a very important factor for you and your family, make sure to do your own research or reach out to me and I will help you align with which areas are truly covered by each district. Because in some neighborhoods, one side of the street is one school district and the other side of the street is the other school district. So make sure to do your research. All right, so another major mistake that home buyers make is skipping the home inspection. At times when a housing market is a very strong seller's market and they are receiving multiple offers on each house, it could definitely be much harder to get your offer accepted if you include the inspections. But as of the time of making this video, we are not in that type of market. So the good news is it gives a lot more home buyers the opportunity and possibility to have their offer accepted with the inspection contingency included. Of course, that really depends property by property as well. Besides just the great thing of being able to know so much about your new home, the other great thing about inspections is it offers plenty of negotiation leverage for your agent to help you get as much as possible from the inspection report. Once we have the inspection results, we can negotiate a price reduction, request the seller to cover some closing costs, or you could even back out of the purchase without losing your initial deposit. Another key mistake is just not keeping an open mind as you go throughout this process. While it's of course great when clients know exactly what they want in a home, it's important to remember that the perfect house just does not exist. Instead, focus on a home that checks off as many boxes as possible. For example, if a house doesn't have a finished basement, you could always finish it later. If it's missing a pool, one could of course be installed. If a property meets most of your criteria, but instead has maybe one or two things that you're not thrilled about, it's very likely that you could change those things over time as you're getting settled into your new home. Staying flexible through this process can help you find more possibilities, which will ultimately help you find the perfect fit. One of the mistakes that almost no one thinks about is just unfortunately not knowing about oil heat. If you're not from the Northeast, chances are you've never encountered it. Oil heat is typically found in homes over 100 years old or houses that are in very secluded areas. It works much like a gas tank for your house. A large steel tank, usually located outside or in the basement, has a gauge to show how full it is. When the oil gets low, you have to call an oil company to come out and fill the tank. The challenge with oil heat isn't the refilling process, but instead the fluctuating costs, because the cost to refill the tank is all dependent on what the price of oil is for that day. And of course, oil prices can fluctuate day by day. Although there is good news, as more new construction homes and communities are being built around this area, that means that the utilities in the street are being updated, and likely on those streets, if there's not already a natural gas line, most of the homes that are currently oil are very often converted converting to natural gas for a much more cost-effective heating option. If you want to avoid these common mistakes and so many more, I would love to help you find your perfect home here in Pennsylvania. You can email me or click the contact link in the description below, and I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you over on this next video.